How you?
Yeah.
So good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 6th and final beginners class for this cycle. So we're so happy that you're here tonight, and we're going to be reviewing 8 core with you. So we're looking forward to doing that. But first, we have to start with our company motto. So thank you, Jess, for pulling this up. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, wait a second. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Sharing
Sharing
the
the
spirit.
Creation. Follow the faith. Serving humility. Much better, much better. Very good. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Jess Delatina, who's been doing this class with me, and she's going to start covering the first 4 steps of the 8 core, then I'll do the last 4 steps of the 8 core. I know for those of you who attended the Auto Sales Master School last night, you saw this presentation from JPEC, but you know what? You never know what somebody else is going to add to this that might make something more helpful for you. And if you weren't in on it, then at least you can hear it tonight too. So Jessica, hit it.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. Hello, good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Jessica. Here coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I'm here to talk to you about, this is our 6th module or 6th lesson of the 6 weeks that we're doing this cycle. So next week, we'll start with week 1 again, which is starting at the bottom, which is, what you just got, become a member to Atomy and how to use our Atomy website. So actually, I have a couple people I'm hoping that will attend at that time, but today we're just finishing off week 6, okay? Or module 6, I call it. So let me share my screen. Can everybody see this? Okay. So I put a title, The Road to Success in Atomy. So obviously the first part of our class today will talk about the 8 core habits of success. And then lesson B, I kind of threw it in like a little bit of about follow up and follow through, which I think JPEC talked about yesterday. So just a little bit, there's some tips and examples. All right, without further ado, let's start with lesson A. So 8 core habits checklist. So first, what is a habit? So habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. So it's something that you do naturally. So for example, you wake up, you go to the bathroom and brush your teeth, like especially when you wake up, something just you don't think about it. It's just a habit. So, but how is habits formed? Because, habits doesn't just kind of, suddenly just appear. It has to form, and it takes a long time to form. According to scientists and psychologists, it takes more than 2 months before a new behavior becomes automatic. So there's exact is 6 to 6 days to be exact. So for those are fast learners with habits, 18 to, and sometimes average 18 days to 254 days for people to form a habit. So it depends on how fast you know, how routine and how constant you use it. So for us here in Atomy, in order for us to succeed, we had to routinely do the 8 core habits checklist because it helps us form this habit that we constantly practice and it becomes automatic, wherever we go. So Atomy's 8 core habits is a system of creating successful habits. So we'll be successful. So we'll be successful deliberately, repetitively, and every day. So this habit checklist will help you succeed in our business and reach to the top faster than we ever know. So this is an example of the 8 core checklist. You could do like a little check mark. You could do it the old-fashioned way, where it's writing in a piece of notebook. Some people are what we call kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic means they need to feel and also see and everything. So that's what the, a notebook is there for. And also for me who are, I have really poor handwriting. So I use a computer to type my 8 core. So either or, as long as you kind of, do it, that's the important thing. So here's my example. So according to Robert Collier, success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So again, the more you repeat it routinely, the more you'll be able to become a habit, and then you'll be able to, remember um, our life scenario. A dream is a dream unless you write it down and you put actions to it. So this is the action. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with number 1. Read a book. So read books that will inspire you and make you to grow and make a total change, because a book has the power to change your heart and thoughts and actions. So you could start with just even 5 minutes a day, or what JPEG said, 15 minutes a day, and then gradually, whatever time you're available. But at least start with at least a verse, a, or a paragraph or a chapter of a book. So you could do it gradually. Start with 5 minutes a day, then you can do 15 minutes a day, then 30 minutes a day, and then, even a chapter a day. So here are some of our suggestions of some books that would help. So number 1, obviously this was mentioned yesterday too, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. There's also this Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's another one here from Sherry Harley, How to Say Anything to Anyone. Books by Tony Robbins. It's an inspirational speaker. And of course, the Holy Bible, because, this is a business as a mission. So we also need the Holy Bible too. So even a verse or chapter in the Holy Bible, anything that will help inspire us and be able to kind of, give us ideas of how to deal with people and how to talk with people and how to, be good human beings, so to speak. According to Harper Lee, the book to read is not the one that thinks for you, but the one that makes you think. So anything that would really inspire you, get you to kind of do what is right and what you think that would help you out. Okay. All right. If there's number 1 is very easy. So, and then here comes number 2. Number 2 habit is watch anime videos. Okay. So there's a lot of resources where we could go find some videos. We have the YouTube where we could, search for successful people who were successful in anatomy. So, in order for us to become successful too, we had to emulate or follow these people. How did they do it? How did they become successful? How did they become imperial masters? How did they become crown masters? How did they succeed? So these are people, the superstars in anatomy, like Coach Joe, they are, how did they do it? So how do we know how to do it? It's just by reading and listening to their video talk. Also in CH Anatomy, there's a lot of information there about resources of, the products, about the information of the products. They also have PowerPoint there about the marketing plan, the company introduction and everything. There's a lot of good resources. And also our 1-day seminar. We have a lot of information come from that. They include everything that we need to know, all the tools that we need to know. Success Academy and 1-day seminars. So we need to watch this video in order to grow, accelerate your learning every day, and learn how to succeed. Get motivated and be recharged, especially when we listen to the videos of successful people in anatomy. And then get more knowledge, be informed about products, how to use, and what new products are there in the market in anatomy. So it helps us to become, it's just like, if you're a baby, you have to learn how to, use the spoon and fork in order to feed yourself. If you don't try to look at other people how they use the spoon and fork, like if you're in your child, you won't be able to know how to use it. So same thing with us. Okay, again, that's number 2 is also an easy, easy explanatory. And now number 3, what's the third core habit we need to really do? Attend meetings, because it's very important. What is the purpose of a meeting? You make decisions. You meet with other fellow Atomians and say, like, you kind of like talk about certain things. So what works for, particularly for, like, for example, a product, like what works for one person will work with another person. So we kind of talk about it, exchange information, same thing. Also, we convey the company vision and mission. So we have speakers that would talk about company vision and mission, and then help us, recharge us, give us that, sometimes we feel kind of like we approach people and we get rejected, but we see this, our speakers talk about their vision, and our vision is also recharged and reinvigorated. Announcing changes. So in the meeting, we get Usok to announce our new products coming out, any kind of announcement from the head Atomy office. So we are in the know of everything that's going on in the company. We also solve problems. So if we have any members that have issues with how to register in a different country, we have people all around that have resources, because some people will have experience of signing up people from another country. Also in the meeting, we review and inform progress. Like, for example, the progress of the opening of the UK Atomy. So we'll learn about that. Like, oh yeah, it was postponed due to the pandemic, but now it's definitely going to be here this week. So yay. And of course, celebrating success when a lot of our members get promoted to sales master, to Sharon master. So we celebrate together too. So this is the purpose of the meeting. So it's very good practice to attend meetings. So we have our center meetings, our beginners class, intermediate class, the auto sales master class, 1-day seminar, Success Academy. So we must participate actively, listen actively, because it will recharge your passion, and it will strengthen your determination why you joined Anime. It will help us refresh, kind of help us review, why did I join Anime? What are my whys? Okay. And engage with our fellow partners and sponsors. By attending to our regular meetings in Anime, I have gained a lot of friends. It's like almost like, like, oh, now I have a whole bunch of new friends that I never even personally met. So like when I met Usok like the other week, I was like, it's almost like she's like, I've known her all my life, but I just, it's my first time seeing her. So, and then like, yeah, like next time I probably, if I, hopefully if I get there to Boston, if I see Lynn, I was like, oh my God, Lynn, I like, yeah, it's just, it's just, we get to get close to our fellow Atomians too. Okay. So number 4, use the products. So it's important practice that we learn to use the products, because first of all, consumption is your future income. And switch your products you use to Atomy products, because before we could share it to others, we need to know about the products. Because how can you tell the products that that is working for you? Like for example, like the shampoo, or the the toothpaste, like, that was the first thing that I kind of like shared, because I was like, oh my gosh, my gums are not bleeding. So I told everybody, like, hey, you should use this because it will help with your gum issue too. So how can you tell that if you just don't use anything? So use the products first before we share to others because that's how we promote, and that's actually that's our main thing here in Atomy. Like, you use the product, share to others, and then the other people would say, hey, yeah, this is a really awesome product. So you are the model and the face of Atomy. So we got lots of products with different category. The healthcare, we have all the supplements, beauty products, personal care products, living products like, detergent, anything household, and of course food. So we got tons and tons of products that we could certainly promote. Like yesterday when I had the facial, I was like, if I had time, I'll tell you all about it, but we are pressed for time. But they were so excited. So share, share, share. So these are a couple of our products here. Okay, I'll give the next part to Lynn. Oh, Lynn, you're on mute.
I saw that now. So the fifth step in our 5 core is customer care. And I think, right now people are complaining about the lack of customer service in restaurants and stores because there's a lack of people to work in them, and the people that are working there are so stressed. But every business knows that if they don't take care of their customers, people aren't going to come back. And that's important for us too. We have to remember that we have a business and we set the tone for how our customers are taken care of. So the idea of service here is seen in these key points. Customer comes first. The feedback, ask them what they think about something. Don't be afraid that they might say, it's not doing for me what I thought it would. That's okay. Not every product is going to work the same for everybody. But if something isn't working out for them, we want to find something to take that place that will work for them. The other thing is to give them support. Many people are afraid to try new things. They've used the same brand of something forever, and they feel as if they try something new, they're either betraying the old brand, or maybe they're not going to get the results that they've had all along. So we want to go ahead and give them some support and tell them, don't throw out your old stuff. Try this, and then if you find that it doesn't help you, then we'll go ahead and take care of it. But give them support and having courage to try new products. Be innovative with them. Just one little way that I'm kind of innovative, and I know that, some people would not necessarily agree with this, but I have some auto consumers who won't order on their own because they don't hit the $150 for free shipping. So I've decided that for those people, they're local. I'll make one big group order once a month to make sure that it reaches $150 for free shipping. And then all I have to do is they pay me for the product. I don't have to keep track of profit I make or anything like that. But if they had to be on their own, and if I said to them, I'm sorry, but you'll have to order it from the website by yourself, they'd stop using them. So sometimes you have to be innovative to find out how to keep people interested and coming back for more. Quality. If you're using the products yourself, like the fourth step was using those products on your own, you know the quality, and you can put your name to Atomy products, knowing that the quality is 100%, because Mr. Park is putting his name on all of those, and he wouldn't do that if he didn't believe in them either. You can also teach them a little bit about the quality. We don't use freeze-dried herbs. We use fresh herbs. Frequently, they'll infuse water with those fresh herbs and use that as the base for a product instead of plain water. They'll add the vitality of those fresh herbs, and we get to use those ingredients. So help them to understand the quality control. Invite them to watch that video that David starts off our center meetings with, that shows the production plants and the quality control and how clean everything is, and the stainless steel is sparkling and people are wearing masks and gloves. They were doing that before the pandemic because cleanliness is so important when you're creating product like that. So you can stand behind the quality of Atomy. Atomy also shoots for excellence. They don't want to hear that they're second best to anybody. They want to be first. And so because of that, 100% focus goes into being the best product out there, absolute quality for absolute price. And then be friendly. There's a verse in the Bible that says, if a man is going to have friends, he needs to prove himself friendly first. So don't be overbearing in your approach, but don't shy away from approaching people. One of the big mistakes I make is, oh, they wouldn't be interested. I just know that they wouldn't be interested in this, so I'm not going to talk to them about that. I can't put myself in their heads. They might very well be interested. So we need to give everybody the opportunity to learn about Atomy and to start using those products for themselves. Next slide. So build your customer base and try to make them permanent consumers. Like I said before, I've got people who are now permanent consumers because I will place a big order for them and they don't have to pay for shipping. If that's what it takes, that's what I'm willing to do. Build your customer base, but then you need to really invest in that customer. I can hear of people who have signed up 100 people in the first month, and then you look at those people and they've not ordered a thing. How do you go ahead and invest yourself in 100 people all at once? It's very hard. So really try to invest in each person at a time as you're adding them to your downline, and keep going back to them. Maybe you won't build your business as fast, but what good is it if you have 100 people and only 2 people order, but maybe you've got 10 and 9 out of 10 order all the time? Try to think of where the priorities lie and really invest a part of yourself into your consumers, your customers. Follow up with people that you've presented the business to within 48 hours. Or if someone's gotten a product for the very first time, check in with them within the first 48 hours. Did your skin tolerate this cream very well? Did the detergent get your clothes as clean as you were hoping? Ask them questions so that you can get feedback from them and listen to what they have to say. If they need help with ordering, you can teach them how to do that. They're all going to need help on product use, because let's face it, we have fabulous products, especially when it comes to our skin and body care, but we have so many lines. It's like, where do I start? You know, it's overwhelming at first. So try to, in your own head, for every new customer that you approach, unless you can see they've got problem skin, these are the couple of things I want them to start with. If they can start with a whole absolute set or a whole fame set, that's great. But a lot of times people don't want to start with a whole thing all at once. They want to try a couple of things out to see how they'll respond. So try to be prepared to tell them, to direct them where to start with their product use. And then go ahead and elicit their response. You want their feedback. You can tell them, you know, I've never used the hair tonic before, but a friend of mine has had great results with it. So if you're interested, I will get you one, and I want to hear back from you how it works for you. And sometimes you might want to go ahead and tell somebody, and I've done this before too, the product's $13. I can see that you're very hesitant. I'm going to give it to you. And if you find that it does for you what you want it to do, then you can pay me back. Find little ways like that to work with people so that they'll at least get the product into their hands. The product will sell itself. And then when we've got new products coming, go ahead and tell people about it. Get them excited about it. I know with the face masks and the eye patches that we have, when I knew they were coming, I started telling people about them. When I found out that a box of the patches was only $11, which means each pack was $1.10, people were really excited about that, and they didn't expect to get any result from that. But these are things that I can give out for very little money as an investment in my business and get people to try something and see an immediate result. So customer care, key point to take care of our customers and get to know them very well. Next slide. So these are, okay, good, thank you. Because I think I covered those don'ts without the slide. So let's go to point number 6. Show the plan. Now, if you're like me and you've sat in on a lot of, our center meetings and the success academies and the auto sales master school, our plan is very long, and it gets a little bit more complicated as it goes along. Don't go there with people right from the beginning. It's going to discourage them to think that they have to attain to this mastership, to be imperial master. Yes, they should set a goal, but just focus with them right now about becoming an agent first. That's what we're hoping this class does for you. Become an agent, then sign someone up on your right side, and then add another person, and then start looking at both lines. What is your vision? Do you want to be making a regular residual income, or are you just hoping to make a commission every now and again? But tell them that the compensation plan is very righteous. It's a fair compensation plan. It's been designed to help the people at the bottom rather than funneling all of the profit to the top. You don't need to know a lot about our company at the beginning to just say those few things. If they say it's a pyramid, you can immediately say, no, it's not. There's a ceiling limit about how much a person can make. And then if anything comes in over and above that, it's fed right down to the people who are just starting out. You don't have to know the dollar amounts. You don't have to know all of those things. But when people hear that and they've had some exposure to multi-level marketing, that's going to mean something to them, and they're going to want to know more. And if they want to know more and you don't know the answer, that's what your sponsor's for, or that's what a meeting is for. I attended many, many, many center meetings before it finally started to penetrate in this thick head of mine what a lot of this stuff meant. But you know what? This is something brand new to most people. And when it's brand new, it's going to take some time to understand it. But once they start attending the meetings and they hear the same thing over and over, and there's no contradictions, and they're going to, get that trust in the company. Next slide. Point number 7, consultation. So what we mean by that is we've got our focus on our customers in point number 5. Now we want to focus on our sponsors with point number 7. Our sponsors are our mentors. You're going to be someone's mentor someday. So think about how you want to be a mentor, but also plug in with your sponsor. Now, if you have a sponsor who doesn't want to do the business, but they just put you under them so that they could order under you to get points, then ask them who their sponsor is so that they can get connected with somebody who is growing the business. It's really important that we connect and we communicate with them. Sometimes you need to do that every day. Sometimes maybe you just have time to check in with them a couple of times a week, but let them know where you're at. It's only fair to them, once they sign you up, that they know what you're doing for yourself. If they know that you're working hard and that you're doing the best you can, they're going to be more able to help you by putting points under the people under you to help them reach agent status or whatever it is. If you have questions and you need someone to give you an answer pretty quick, if you have a good relationship with your sponsor, they're probably going to try to drop whatever they're doing in order to get you that answer. Get feedback and advice from them. If you approach somebody and it didn't go very well, I think role playing, because I train a lot of people at my work, and I think role playing is one of the best things you can do with people. So you can say to the sponsor, could you be the customer and I'm going to be me and I'm going to try to present a product to you? Tell me what I could say better, what I could do better. When do I work in the business, in the conversation? Do I want to work the business into the conversation? And by doing that and practicing with one other person, when it comes time to do it with a new customer, it's just going to roll off your tongue a whole lot easier, and you'll have more confidence in your presentation. And people are attracted to confidence. People love confident people. They don't love people who are better than them and put on that type of an air, but they do like people who are confident in what they're talking about. So use your sponsor to build up that confidence. Update them with your progress and any new signups. It's good for them to know that you're working hard at your business. Next slide. The other thing about consultation is They can give you advice. So if you, or let's say someone, you're trying to sign up into Atomy, you know, people will put up a roadblock or they might have barriers. Right now they're going to think, and this is one for me, I don't know many people. You probably know more people than you think you know. And if you say you don't know many people, it's probably because you're crossing some people off the list without even asking them first. So start with the people that you do know. And as you're doing that, those people might lead you to people that you'll then meet and get to know. That's why having a facial party is such a great thing, because you may be bringing in people that you're not super familiar with, but they know people. And if they really enjoy the facial party, they're going to make sure that you get connected to those people too. If you've registered a lot of people, but nobody's buying, how much time have you spent with that person to really teach them about the products? Maybe they're embarrassed and they really don't have the money right now to buy something. Give them something to start with. Give them a peel-off mask. Give them a foaming cleanser. Give them just one of the masks for $1.10 if your budget is tight too. But give them something so that they'll have more buy-in into it and more interest. Like I said before, you can register a lot of people, but if you don't invest yourselves in them and they don't buy, what good is it? We're not getting paid for the amount of people we register. We're getting points from the amount of people who buy. I have trouble registering people. Run that by your sponsor. Again, role play with what you would say if you were trying to register somebody. If you're talking to them immediately on registering about becoming an Imperial Master and you need this many points to do it and you need this many people under you, they're just going to get buried in that. They're not going to be able to see how they can attain that. So break down some goals for them into small attainable goals, those SMART goals that we talk about. Make goals for yourself and help your downline to make goals for themselves. Again, I have many partners, but no consumers. That's pretty much in the same vein. And remember, you're going to make mistakes, but your sponsors already made the same ones and more. And they want you to learn from their mistakes so that you don't repeat them. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, I'm not comfortable with talking to somebody about a business like this. I feel as if, you know, I'm imposing myself on them. You need to get to your own comfort level. You'll get there. But remember, if people say no, that's fine. Thank them for their time. Go on to the next person, but keep that person that said no in the back of your mind to revisit them later. Or it could be something that maybe you talk to them about, say, HemoHim or our supplements. And maybe down the road when they're not feeling so great, they're going to remember what you said and then they'll call you about that. So you never know the little tidbits of information that you leave with somebody, whether or not that's going to stick with them, and then they'll want to call you back later about that. And then point number 8, build trust. So you need to build trust with your downline, and you need to build trust with our other global business partners. Jess and I think, have built trust between each other because we've worked on this beginner's class together. Khan, from her testimony, and I've seen her hard work, I already have trust in Khan. We've never met each other, but just by attending the meetings and by hearing each other and sharing stories, that's how we build trust. Do your business with integrity and credibility. Think of our company motto with everything that you do. There's a reason for that motto. There's a reason Hangil Park led his business and leads his business with that motto today. There's even language about our integrity and our credibility in the agreements that we check off when we become a member. He wants to make sure we're not going to take advantage of anybody, that we're not going to use dishonest methods in order to try to sign people up. We're not going to make promises the company can't keep. So when you've got that integrity and that credibility built up, You could sell people a rock and they'll buy it from you because they're going to trust you and they're going to think that that rock must be good for them. Not that we want to be selling people rocks, but I think you know what I mean. Practice good business ethics, not only with your customers, but with each other. There's really no place in Atomy for people to be getting angry with each other because so-and-so's business is growing faster than mine, but I seem to be working harder and that's not fair. And maybe their sponsor is helping them out more than my sponsor's helping me out. Oh, wait a minute, I just saw my sponsor help that person, but they haven't helped me yet. There's no place for that. We're all in this together. We're all trying to go up at the same time, and we're trying to help each other the best that we can. So work together, support each other, be happy when someone's having a success, cry with them when they're frustrated and they're not, encourage them. But like the Bible says, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. And that'll go a long way in supporting each other and almost having this little family group in Atomy with this special relationship that we don't really have with anybody else because we're sharing these unique experiences together. And then serve in humility. The thing that has impressed me about Osuk and David, and I'm not saying this to butter anybody up, there is, you know that they've worked hard to achieve where they're at, but they don't walk around with, well, I'm a Sharon Rosemaster and you're just an agent. I never got that impression from them. It was all, if I've achieved Sharon Rosemaster, so can you. Don't give up. I was working in a post office. I was doing dry cleaning. I was just when I hear some women say I was just a housewife, it kills me because that's such a big job. But I didn't have a career before Atomy, and now I do. You know, you remember that we all have to start at the same place and nobody is better than anybody else. It's just some people's business will grow faster than others, and that's okay. Let's be happy for those that are growing, and those that are growing, don't lot it over those that are struggling. Help those that are struggling and say, someday you're going to be growing too. We want to keep that spirit, that service and humility. And cherishing the spirit of this company that this company was built on. We don't want to be a part of destroying that or tearing that down. We want to be a part of really building that up and keeping it strong because God's blessing this company. And if we start having all of that kind of internal conflict, that might stop, and we don't want that to stop. Is that it for number 8, Jessica? All right. Effective teamwork begins and ends with communication. So teamwork is that way, a marriage is that way, a friendship is that way. Don't assume that because somebody might have looked away during a meeting that you were talking at, that they didn't like what you were saying or they got bored. Or if you think someone's having a problem, then you say to them, did I say something to offend you? But communication is very, very important in all of our relationships, and it's the same way in a business and in this teamwork. You'll notice this 8 core is all about communicating with your customers, your downline, and communicating with your upline. Communicating with each other, up, down, across. And if we do that, we will definitely succeed, and this company will continue to grow and have an impact on people who need help. And that's what we want to see. So Jessica, did you want to talk about the follow-up and follow-through tips and techniques, or did you want to do it together? This was a little new.
Yeah, this is the new one I added. I could go through it. It's
Okay.
a very short slide.
Very short.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we were talking about, in the customer service, follow up and follow through. So I found a couple of things that it's nice, it's very shareable that we want to learn about these things because it is important. We have to follow up and follow through with our customers or members that had issues or even new members within 48 hours. So what are this follow up and follow through? So what's the difference between follow up and follow throughs? It sounds like they're almost similar. They are, but there's just one small difference. So follow up is building trust by communication. So you communicate, again, that what Lynn said, communicate with your member, your customer, your consumers. But what is follow through? Follow through is building trust by using actions, using an action or a task that is complete. So just to take the example by JPAC yesterday, she said, follow up is like you just had a member that bought a shampoo and conditioner. I was like, okay, how you doing? Did you use the shampoo and the conditioner? Well, how was it? And then the patient, the customer says like, oh, I feel like I'm not agreeing with it. Like it's just kind of like, it's burning. And then your follow-up is like, okay, here's a customer service Adamy's telephone number, you could return it. That's a follow-up. But follow through is getting one more step ahead, is you do some action. So instead of saying like, oh, here's the telephone number, you could call them, say, hey, okay, let me get that from you, and let me call the customer service for you to have it returned. So there's an extra step, going above and beyond, so to speak. So that's the difference between follow up and follow through. So here are some 6 ways to follow up and follow through with the consumers or members. So first, if they bought something or they just wanted to become a member and they bought something, first say thank you. Say thank you for being an Atomy member and being a loyal Atomy member and buying your products. Establish a consistent contact into the future. So always be in contact with your members and consumers, especially if they just became Atomy members to be consumers. Keep contact, and even if they're also in the business, keep in contact with your partners too. Number 2, help them get started with your product. So just like what Lynn said, sometimes especially with our skin line, it's a lot. It's like they always like, okay, which one's number 1, which one's number 2, which should I use first, hot, cold water or something. So sometimes you need to kind of help them, guide them, like not just kind of say, oh, okay, here, watch a video or something like that, or that you have to like call them like, hey, okay, do you remember how to use the evening care set? Okay, first let's do this again, and then keep reminding them, keep talking to them about it. Number 3, inform them on new features or products. So proactive supports help members get the most of your products. So you could tell them like, there's a there's a new Atomy lutein capsules is they have updated the formula, so it's much more better. So it's like, oh, it's been there in the shopping mall, but it's a new ingredient in there. So you keep them aware of what's going on with the new products or new features of the products, like existing products. Number 4, ask them, is there any way you can help? For example, like, they have a hard time, telling others or sharing to others, like, about the product, because I know there's consumers or partners, if they have issues of how to share to others, you could tell them what you did and also show them what to do. Next is upsell. Basically, you listen actively. You establish communication with them. When you listen to your customer, establish a good communication with them, you'll find tidbits of what they need. Like, you will say, he will be talking about, oh yeah, my daughter is having some acne, but she's only 15 years old. I don't know what to, and she's one of those that doesn't want to, put anything on her face. She doesn't even wash her face. Like, what? So sometimes when you listen to that, like, oh, you know what? We have a line that might help with her skin, maybe we could kind of help her out. So now you could kind of like, when you actively listen to your members or your consumers, we will find a product that might be useful to them. Let them know about it, because they would never know if we had it, because even though you give them the whole brochure or tell them to go to the Atomy shopping mall, sometimes they don't have time to look around, unless you're really like a shopper, like some people, like me, I'm like, oh, like, what's this? What's this? Some people like, like, okay, that's it. And they don't really look at the other products. But
Mhm.
if you tell them, oh, look at this, we have a product for that. So then you say, oh yeah, that's good. That's perfect. So you'll be helping them. That's how you follow up and follow through. Like, hey, here, and the follow through is like, oh, you show them. Follow up means you show them like, oh, we have this product. We have this AC Expert Care. The follow through is that, oh, I have a sample here. You could have her try it. So that's an extra and above step. Last way is to send them testimonies that might be helpful. So you kind of show them like some of the YouTube testimonies, also the CH Atomy slides about the products, articles. Articles means like, for example, about the him, particularly the him. A lot of people like, oh, what's that? Like, what herbs are in there? You show them the Atomy slides. You show them the YouTube video testimonies of people and your own personal testimony about, the him, and then also the articles like the NIH research studies that shows that it's not just some herbal supplement out there. It's something that's well tested and already been patented all in different countries. So you show them information that would help them understand that the product would really help them. Okay, so move this thing for a minute. Tips and follow-up. Be purposeful. It's crucial that your follow-up message should be meaningful for them. That just don't check in. So you're just like, don't just say hi, hello, and that's it. Don't even like ask about how they did with the product. Make sure it's purposeful. Give it a purpose. This thing here, right? Whether that's updating on the product or an issue, keep it personal. Make sure that you don't just kind of like group chat everybody and say, hey, you have to talk to them individually. Like, for example, you have like 6 people that went to your facial or to your, and they bought different things. Don't just kind of like spread like a one group chat or message them individually and say, hey, how did you do with the evening care set for one person? Hey, how did you do with the absolute skincare? Oh, the other one is like, how did you do with the detergent? So make sure you give each one a particular focus. Be personal. So same thing. Personalize your response and follow up according to their needs where applicable. And be timely. So when you tell them, I'm going to call you at this time or tomorrow at this time, make sure you do so. Yeah. Message, and also message an appropriate time. Don't text them or call them middle of the night or like while during office hours or something, because they might be busy. So these are just the tips, and any questions at all.
Any
So that's the end of my
questions
spiel, basically.
this 6-week course? Does anybody have questions that have come up in your mind along the way, or do you have any questions about things we covered tonight? Any feedback? What did you find helpful? What did you find not so helpful? We're still trying to tailor this to make sure that it's worth everybody's time of an hour on a Sunday night. So we really want feedback about this. Don't be shy. We won't take anything personally. You can say Lynn talks too much. That's okay.
I have a comment, Lynn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. Good job, Lynn and Jessica. It's really helpful. And I think like you do now, like continuously like rotate, it's really good. Because this is the things we needed. We needed to either we already like a member and like, like a long time in the Atomy, or the new one, we need it because this is really helpful. for
Good,
us as a member. I feel like really helpful.
good,
Thank you
good.
very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, any of you here, if you came in at the middle or you wanted to do it again, you can always attend again. But if you have people that you recently signed up, ask them if they would come to this class with you. Do it again with them. Don't send them on their own, but ask them if they could spare an hour on a Sunday night for 6 weeks. We're going to try to cut it down to 4. Jess and I have been talking about, you know, doing that. So, but for just 6 weeks, 1 hour on a Sunday, and that you'll go with them. Because if you just give someone the meeting information and they see all these faces that they don't know, they're not going to feel comfortable. And I don't blame them. If I wouldn't have seen Myung in those meetings that I attended way at the beginning, that's what gave me the courage to just hang in there.
Yeah.
So thank you though for that feedback, Wanda. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Wanda.
Thank you.
Yes, Osuk.
Even myself, I learn a lot from you guys. I really appreciate it. What you put it in there, you know, like a puzzle, making a perfect puzzle for the beginner class. I really appreciate that. I really thank you for that. You know, I cannot say thank you enough from bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I really learned a lot too, even myself. Yes.
Yeah, well, that I find a little hard to believe, but that's okay. I'm not going to call you a liar, but I'm like, what could we possibly teach Osuk? She's been through it all.
Doesn't matter. You know, every single things I got some tip from
Okay.
you guys. Doesn't matter, you know, who speak, you know, who's in like a Pidgin speaker. I learn from that. Doesn't matter where I am, where we are. I learn a lot from each other's.
Good.
Thank you
Good.
so much.
Okay.
So keep doing it, okay? Keep doing for our
Okay.
beginners. Thank you so much.
I
Thank
have
you.
something to share.
All right.
I have a member that they purchased from me to try, and then I keep checking on her, and you know, and then she said, "Yeah, I keep taking," and it is a few months later, it's not 1 box, it should be all gone. So I check it on her, and then I think she did not want to tell me the truth, so she been changed to a different vitamin.
Oh.
So I was like, why would you change? You know, you give yourself another chance to get another box. So she's just, no, I change. I take a different vitamin. So I'm sure you guys all heard about that other vitamin out there.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of don't forget, there's a lot of websites or on Facebook. You know, you'll get vitamin things pop up all the time, and it's from companies that have a lot of money to target a certain audience, and they get their attention that way. So our products, even though we know that they're very good, they may not be for everybody. You know, so let them try something else, and then when that doesn't do any better for them either, they'll come back, because nobody's going to beat our price point on our supplements. Nobody. Our prices are outstanding when it comes to supplements, when it comes to everything, but that too.
So yeah, that's what I just whatever. Try it. If not, you can come back.
That's right. That's right. I'll always be here for you with whatever you need.
Right.
Yeah.
Service and humility.
Mm-hmm.
But Khan, you're probably our greatest example that I know of in our group, of someone who really invests in their downline, because look how many people buy from you. You are doing something right. You've got your finger on the pulse of your members. And I think that that's really great. I'm still trying to figure out how you do it, because you sign up a lot of people, but they're all buying too, and that's really great. That's really great.
Yeah, some of them they know me. They know me for a long time, and they know me when I went through a lot of pains.
Right.
And just like example, Helen brother, he saw me that I couldn't get out from a bed. And then, but I told him so many months, he didn't believe me until he came here and saw me. So that's why he told about this vitamin to Helen. And then Helen tried to get into it and try it. So that's why Helen get to involve.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Your testimony is very powerful and I've used it. I borrow it.
I still don't get to my doctor. I don't know why they can check what is wrong with my blood, you know?
There's a lot of things that they can't explain. The thing
Yeah.
is when they can't explain it, they're not able to say, we don't know. They just go, must be you. You know, a lot of times they'll point to the head and say, there's something wrong up here because they don't have an answer. They're used to having answers. And when they don't have one, they're threatened by that.
Yeah.
But that's when we know that we've got something that we can
Yeah,
focus
when I have the last 2 years ago, was that 2019? That's the last time I went to see my specialist. He looked at me when I explained him that I have all this symptom that it's weird. He looked like I have a 3 heads.
Yeah.
And then he just said he ran out of option.
I hear that a lot, unfortunately. And I don't know, Jessica or any other nurses here, if you hear this from people, it's really disturbing to me to be part of the medical profession right now. Because if you don't fit into a box, they just don't even try. And I just visited a lady last Saturday whose 34-year-old son has Lyme disease and has gone from being very athletic to now being in a bed or a wheelchair. And when he talks, he sounds like he has a stroke. And she brought him to specialists in Boston at Mass General. And one of the ones that she wheeled him into said, if you're here to tell me that your son's got Lyme disease, if you want to talk about Lyme disease, we can't have a relationship. You might as well leave right now.
Oh my.
And it's like, but Lyme disease is a real thing. But
Right.
even there's no, even insurance companies won't pay for a lot of treatments for Lyme disease because they haven't been proven by the FDA. And if they're not approved by the FDA, insurance companies are going to pay for it. So people are spending thousands of dollars out of pocket for some services that work, but they're just left out there in the lurch. And it breaks my heart that our medical system is letting them down that way. So that's one of the things I love about Atomy is, you know, I brought them a box of HemoHim. And I said, look, this isn't going to make them suddenly get out of bed tomorrow and walk. But if we can at least prevent a further decline and maybe get a little improvement. And so I have to check in with her today. But, you know, he took it right down and had no problem. So I told her, take 1 a day for a few days, make sure his system adjusts and then increase it to at least 2. So she was going to be doing that the middle of this week. So I need to check with her this weekend to see how they're doing with the HemoHim. But we might have something to offer people that the medical establishment just gives up on because they don't have an answer. And that's just, that's hard to watch as a nurse.
Yep.
Yeah, try to give to my neighbor, and he tried. I don't know how many package he been trying, but he gave up. And
Did he
he's
go-
been,
did
yeah,
he
he's
do it for at least a month?
no, he didn't try a month. He just tried a few days. He just said, I can't swallow it down.
Oh, well, there's not a whole lot we can do about that, but I always tell people, look at whenever you're trying a natural remedy, it's not going to work like a blood pressure pill and bring your blood pressure down immediately. Your body has to absorb it and it has to rebalance and reset. So I tell everybody to give it at least a month. For this particular gentleman with his extent of illness, I told his mother, it's probably going to take 2 months before we know whether or not it's going to do anything at all. So I offered to provide those 2 months worth of HemoHim because I would feel bad if I drove them to that and then it really didn't do anything for them. But she
Yeah.
started taking it too. So
Yeah,
we'll see what
I'm
happens.
so glad.
Lynn,
Yes.
Lynn, I have just a question. I have a member that she started taking HemoHim when I gave her a sample, but she said she has problem swallowing it, and she asked me if she can just spread it on her bread. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Can do that? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
She could spread it on bread or toast, or she can make a tea with it and put honey in there. Just
Okay.
sweeten it to drink it hot.
Okay.
You know, for me, for a while, I was putting it in some seltzer water, fizzy water, so that it had a lot of bubbles. And when I drank it, I didn't notice the taste as much. Now I can take it straight from the packet, but I still need to drink a lot of water after it. But I'm
Yeah.
getting there.
I don't know what can I help to my neighbor. Now he have a bad circulation through his leg now.
Ginseng,
Yeah, ginseng. Ginseng is good.
ginseng for the circulation.
You know, especially his wife. His wife not in get into it, so that's why whatever she said, he agreed.
Yeah, ask if they drink coffee, and if they drink coffee, if they get the Hagman's done, whatever, however you say it,
Some
Sandam.
right?
Sandam.
If you put that in your cup of coffee and stir it, you really don't taste it all that much,
Yeah.
and it goes down easy. And once you start taking it, it's one of those things that I don't know what it's doing for me, but I need that. And my husband and I both take it now every day.
Yeah,
But
me too. I drink my
circulation,
coffee every day.
ginseng is the one that really gets blood flowing to your brain, to your extremities, to your organs. The ginseng is known for that.
Yeah, I gave him one box, him one box probiotic. I gave him coffee, oatmeal. I gave him a lot, but
Con, have you heard the expression that says you can bring the horse to water, but you can't make him drink?
yeah, I heard that.
There are just some people that no matter what you
Yeah.
do, you know, but you planted the seed.
Yeah.
And someday they might come back and say, all right, now we're ready to try. They just might not be ready yet.
Yeah.
But it's never wasted to tell somebody about it. Same thing with the gospel. It's never wasted to tell somebody about it, even though they don't want to hear it right now.
Yep.
So you did good. You're trying to love your neighbor and take care of your neighbor, and you'll be blessed for that. And then,
Yeah, because you know why because when I was in pain, he took care of me too.
yeah,
He's really have a nice heart,
yeah.
so he
He's-
always come to
They're
check
just
on.
not ready yet. They're just
Yeah.
not ready yet.
It's too bad.
Mhm.
Now he can't walk.
Mm.
We make choices. It took me a long time to stop being frustrated with people who I knew what they should do to get better, but they wouldn't do it. And I finally had to get to the point where I tried, but it's ultimately their choice.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You know, it's ultimately their choice. So be available. Don't ever close the door. You know, it's not like, oh, well, you didn't want to take these supplements. I'll never talk to you about them again. You just keep that door open, and when they're ready, they'll come back.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, we get a lot of people like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I told them a year ago, and they just start this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It
how.
takes people time, you know, and especially I think in the Western culture, and I don't know how else to put it, but if you really have a lot of faith in the medical component, the medical side of things, and I do, I mean, that's where I work, but I think there's a lot of room for the natural.
Mhm.
And I believe in something called complementary medicine, where you take the best that medicine has to offer and you take the best that the natural has to offer and you put them together in order to get well. And then hopefully at some point you can maybe back out of some of the medical stuff, you know, that medication. But not everybody believes that way. There are some people where if the doctor didn't say it, I'm not doing it. And try to get a doctor to endorse HemoHim. That's not easy. That's not easy. So anything else from anybody else?
Oh, I just want to give testimony. 1 minute. I want to show this one. I fall in love with this curling essence.
Oh, really?
Oh,
You know, my hair is like thin and dry and a little bit curly, not much. But, you know, if I just wash my hair, if I sleep, I put my roll.
Yeah.
And in the morning is, you know, a little bit good. But when I apply this one, my hair can like 3 days looks good, like wavy in the natural way, and it's really smooth. And my friend can notice that. She said, Wanda, your hair is different. I said, what's the difference? It's more smooth. I said, oh yeah, I have this on, and this is just $9.
So how do you put it in your hair when your hair's wet, or do you put it in?
Yeah, I put first when my hair's still wet, I put a little bit, because usually I put the oil, like argan oil, but now I change it. And after that, when I sleep tonight, I just like roll. And the next day, my hair is still good, it's not dry and not oily. And I put a little bit and I, roll again and I sleep and still good until 3 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've got to buy a few bottles of that.
Yeah.
People I
It's
know.
$9. I'm falling in love with this.
That
How-
is that in our website already?
No,
Etsy
it's Add to Me Mall.
It's
At
the-
Gmail.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it for like, this is for when you apply for a curling iron? Is that what
No,
is?
no, you can use the curling iron, but I'm not use that one. I just use, the manual that. And one more things, that shipping, it's more faster. I
It's-
ordered on Saturday and Tuesday it's coming. I said, you're kidding me. Saturday
Wow.
and Tuesday. And I said,
They've
wow,
got a system down, boy. They've really got that worked
they're
out.
really fast. I said, wow.
Yep. Yep.
And now I learned, until your purchase $150, the same shipping. The
Okay.
same shipping. Because
Dollars.
I try, like, how about I adding more until 150. If more 150, they change,
Okay.
the shipping. But until like about 148, 149, the shipping and handling the stay there, like 54 kwan, something like that. So
Okay.
now I know.
Well,
Okay, so-
I got this propolis
Oh
spray.
yeah, I have that too.
Ah, I just think,
Yes.
I don't like breath mints. I don't like sugary gum or anything like that. But to think that that's killing bacteria and stuff at the same
yeah.
time and
Yeah.
helping gum health and tooth health and all of that. I can't wait until it's in our center, in our shopping mall, because I'll be buying a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the collagen too. I order more because I can feel it, something like, well, I take all the vitamin, hemohim, probiotic, vitamin C, omega-3, but when I adding this one, because I know we need collagen, we already 50 more, we need that. I just put my faith in there. And it's really easy and tastes good for me. It tastes good.
Yeah.
Every day I just take one bottle, done.
Yeah, I was
Everywhere I
gonna
go.
order some of that, and then I saw that U.S. Customs had put a hold on letting that come in for some reason. So they said if it takes a longer time to get it, it's because U.S. Customs. So maybe now they've gone ahead and studied it and they're okay with it. I don't know. If it's anything too good for you, the U.S. will say you can't have it.
Yeah.
How many bottle in the box?
14.
Oh, it's only
14, let's see, this one, like this is the bottle, the box, and 14 like this.
And you take one, it says to take one a day.
One a day, yeah.
That's 2 weeks worth.
Yeah. And I think, how many, the 38 kwan, it's about $40, right? It's about plus minus $40, so
Okay.
just good.
Anybody?
Yeah, that tastes good. So you
Yeah,
wanna take
I like the
more.
taste. The taste
You
is
wanna
good.
take more at the 14 at once.
Well, that
That
one-
tastes, yeah, that tastes really
Oh,
good.
I want to save.
I know you need to say, but that tastes really good. You wanna take them all at the same time.
It tastes like fruity
Peach.
peach flavor.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
good. It's really good.
All right, we did a great
Oh.
job. Thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, so let's close then with our company motto.
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Cherish
Cherish
the
the
spirit. Create the vision.
vision,
Follow
Follow the faith. Serve in
humility.
humility. Aja.
Aja, aja,
Aja.
aja.
Aja.